Culture, ethnicity, and race all play a large role in the way that each person experiences the world and in the types of mental health support they may need. July is BIPOC Mental Health Awareness Month, and joining me in the studio is mental health expert Calissa Ngozi. Calissa, can you provide a brief historical context how vital it is to recognize the trauma marginalized groups have experienced and how that contributes to overall health outcomes?
Well, I think the first thing we need to do is label it and actually acknowledge it. You know, there's a lot of people that are members of the BIPOC community who don't like to talk about it because it's not always received well from outside communities. Growing up in BIPOC families, a lot of them have been misunderstood when it comes to mental health issues and concerns, and they've also been told to suppress those feelings and emotions. This is both men, women, and children. So when you grow up in an environment where you're told, we don't talk about it. Like if you're going through something, just go through it in silence because I have my own stuff that I need to deal with, right? That's a lot of negative connotations and feelings, and then it becomes a generational thing. That's where generational trauma comes into play.
BIPOC communities face unique stressors. What are the challenges people face that increase mental health outcomes?
Well, I think one of them is that statistically speaking, members of the BIPOC community are not seen as much medically in terms of mental health diagnoses than their white counterparts. So that's alarming when you look at these statistics. And I think the other piece too is if we aren't actually calling out and saying, I think I'm struggling, I think I have this problem, I don't want to talk to anybody because I don't want to be mislabeled, I don't want to be put into a box. And then the other thing is that, well, there's nobody that really looks like me. They're not really going to understand what I'm going through from my lens.
Can you explain the impact of discrimination and what this type of trauma does to the body and mind?
Well, really, when you think about it, mental health affects everybody, whether you're in the BIPOC community or not. So what are we doing as a community to rally together, and for today, specifically BIPOC community, to open the conversation, make people feel that they're in a safe space and that they can get help?
So how does somebody heal from that?
Well, if you acknowledge that you have the problem, you seek out the help, that's the first step, right? Is looking for answers.
And how do we break the stigma associated with mental health within BIPOC communities?
Talk about it. We're not talking about it enough. So talk to your kiddos. It starts when they're really, really young, and accepting that emotional regulation is a thing that everybody goes through, but it's also a taught behavior. You're okay to be in a safe space. You're okay to show me your emotions, but let me label this and show you in a healthy way.
And let's not forget that this is a time to celebrate the incredible accomplishments these discriminated groups have made despite barriers. Can you speak to the resilience and strength of the BIPOC community?
Well, I think, you know, BIPOC communities at large, so Black, Indigenous, all people of color, have had to go through some form of trauma because of how they look like or how they fit culturally. And I think they've done a really good job at rising above it and trying to not necessarily forget the past, but really embrace the future and not make the same mistakes, you know, that happened to them in the past.
It is crucial that mental health services are culturally sensitive. Where can BIPOC individuals go for help or to get more information?
So as odd as it sounds, social media is a really good resource. There are a ton of communities that are available. So if you just put in the search, Black communities, there's ones in Toronto, there's ones in Niagara, all over the province. And then you can also type in Black therapist, Indigenous counselor, all of these pieces. And there's also certain businesses that tailor themselves to be BIPOC specific.
Is there one thing that you would want people to know about July and it being BIPOC Awareness Month?
Don't forget about us after July, right? It needs to be a 365-day thing.
Calissa, thank you so much for joining us in the studio today.